So Nvidia finally reported on its earnings. This is a stock that everyone has been talking about. Your grandmother has probably heard of this stock, even though she doesn't invest, or if she does invest, she's probably invested in this stock. So obviously, it is wild news. So we're about to dive into it, and let's just talk about it, bro. Like, we don't know what Nvidia did right now, right? We have no idea. We're recording this prior to earnings. So, well, before we get started, what do you think happened with Nvidia, or is going to happen with Nvidia?
I think they're gonna probably guide. I feel like it's gonna miss expectations. I feel like that.
Okay.
And they're gonna try to save it with their guidance, and it might have a flat reaction. I think the reaction to the video will be flat. I think everybody expects this huge gap down, and everybody on the other side expects a huge gap up. And then there's a minority who are not expecting this flat type reaction, and I'm kind of in that minority right now.
Yeah, because we're seeing a lot of news and we're seeing a lot of just YouTube videos in general saying there's a huge collapse happening, and we've been a part of that where we think the market will be going back down, right? We see that happening, but then again, with this stock, you don't know. Like, if you are someone who's into evaluations and you're really considered a value investor, you look at the stock, look at the PE ratio. This is scaring you right now. Like, I'll be 100% honest, Nvidia is scaring you, right? So let's look at something really, really quickly. So when you check it out, it's kind of crazy. People are calling Nvidia the next Tesla, right? Because it's a new darling on the stock market. So just look at this for 1 sec. This is showing you essentially the chart, the P ratio from Tesla from 2010 to 2022. Bro, it was at 966 to end the year. So when you look at it, 967, 190. And this was during that run up when everyone was talking about. And right now, I don't know what it is right now, but it's kind of crazy to think about because I think Nvidia was like 232 around.
Yeah, Nvidia's P ratio is high too. I didn't lie, but that's the thing. Like, everybody kind of says, "Yo, I can't invest in a company unless the PE ratio is down at 20 or below." And right, okay, don't touch it. You're gonna miss out on hundreds of percent of gains if you're that type of investor. And that's what we've been traditionally taught. But is that really always the way to go about it? You're gonna miss out on a lot of runs. Tesla made a lot of people rich. Nvidia just made a lot of people rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're right. You're 100%. Because if you think about what you just said, like, I know we said it on the last video, we have sold our Nvidia stock, and that's not because we don't believe in the company. We believe in the company. We think it's a great company. Go back to what the videos that we were posting in 2022 telling you to buy the company. So we definitely believe in this company. We're just at a point where we're thinking we don't know which way it could go and how much room it has to grow. So it's like, okay, we're going to reinvest the money that we invested in it. But that's the thing, like, we got in over here. Like, we got in at this point. So we actually got this entire run up that we're seeing on screen. But people were talking about, oh, it's way too high over here. It's way too high over here. It's way too high even over here. So you guys missed out on this entire cycle. So if you just consider value investing, bro, like, what's your opinion on that? Like, do you think we're still in the era of value investing? Or do you think it's the other opposite where it's like, when this actually finally gets the mainstream media, that's when it runs up more? Like, what's your take on that?
It is different now with the age of information and social media and more people involved in the market and the type of manipulation that honestly occurs in the market now. It's kind of hard to just strictly be a value investor as was traditionally taught, the way you're going to miss out on runs like a Tesla or a Meta or a Nvidia. Runs like these, you're gonna miss out because, like Newski said, we've been in since really
literally, right? I'm not even lying. We literally made an episode. I personally got in at 142. That was when I got back in.
Yep. And we have a similar average cost, so I was around there. And we caught this whole run up. And I know Newski said we sold our Nvidia stock. We sold most of it. We still have a portion.
Most of it.
We have 25% of our position left. So we sold we sold 75% of our Nvidia position. And we're leaving the rest for just in case. But at this point, it's literally a carefree investment because we've already over doubled our money and everything. Like, we're good. You know what I mean? And we caught this whole thing versus if you had listened to value investors, they tell you, yo, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Now the PE is at 50. It's at 100. It's at 150. All right, well, listen, people getting rich in the meanwhile.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so it actually says it right here. 237 is the PE ratio. For people who don't know, let's just explain it really quick, right? Price to earnings ratio. This is basically just saying what what the actual value of the stock is. It overvalued or is it undervalued? Most of the time, you want to see PE ratio like 15 to 25. It could definitely vary based on the industry. Yeah, you're not going to see energy companies with like a 30 PE ratio, 35 PE ratio. That's not going to happen. You're not going to see banks with that PE ratio because their price to earnings, they're not heavily priced and they're not reporting crazy earnings to the dollar, right? That's essentially why they're, I don't want to say undervalued, but they're normal average value. They are what they're worth. That's when you see companies coming out like Tesla when it was running up to 1100 and they did a whole, drop down to 700. People are like, oh, I knew that was going to happen, bro. But to be fair, like Tesla was 300 and it ran up to 1100. So you could have
Yeah.
kind of already bought that. You know what I mean?
Yep. These people be so happy when it's like, oh, I told you Tesla was gonna come down. I told you Nvidia was gonna come down. All right. Now at this point, you talking to rich people because they like, I don't care that it came down. I made my money already. We already caught 300%.
And that's the thing, like, guys, just imagine, right? So it's at 456. If it comes down to 375, bro, you're buying at 375 now, but what about this entire run up that you already missed? And now you have to hope that it goes back up to that 460 number, but it might not go back there for a little bit. It actually might come down a little bit more. So you guys can't normally right now, especially in the day of AI and everything that's changing, like look at the actual company itself and think about the advantages it has. So just last time, literally the same exact thing, this article came out on May 26th. So when you look at it, this is what Nvidia did. They went up 26% in a day. In a day, simply because of AI stocks just going up. There's no better company than Nvidia right now when it comes to AI. I mean, maybe we talk about Microsoft. That's my baby, but Nvidia is taking it crazy right now.
Yeah. Nah, exactly. And like you said, we've been in Nvidia for a while, man, just watching this whole run up. So, it's funny. Like, if you have anything else to show on here, because I wanted to show short.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You could take over right now. Go ahead. If you guys, while he does that, please make sure you like this channel and subscribe, or like this video, subscribe to the channel because it does help us out a lot. So please make sure you're doing that. But go ahead, bro. You can show the chart.
Yeah, I just actually wanted to show basically what Nvidia has done. Pretty much, if you go to the weekly chart, remember, as far as direction goes, all right, if it's going up, that means the price is going up. So you see, every candle you see represents 1 week. So for the past several weeks, Nvidia has been running nonstop, as you might have heard in the news. And then now we're at a point where we just today, at times of recording, we actually just hit an all-time high on Nvidia the day before earnings. But as soon as they hit that all-time high, like literally, as I'm back on a daily chart, which means every candle represents 1 day. Mm-hmm. As soon as they hit that all-time high, which is the very top here at 481.87, they immediately dropped down and they closed today at 456.68. So they dropped $30 right after they hit the all-time high.
So, bro, I have a question on that. And I know we talked about this off camera, but let's just bring it on camera right now in the sense of why do you think the stock ran up 2 days before earnings? Because obviously, I have a theory on this. I'll get into mine, but just show the people really quick. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but did it not go to 407 earlier? That
yeah, like down here.
Did it not hit?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It came down at like 404 for real.
404. That drawback, and then it went right up, right, like normal. Then it hit a little pullback again, but then 2 days consecutively, right before earnings. Why do you think it shot up?
It's probably to trap people in before the big sell-off. That's a potential. What I found really weird about this Nvidia thing is every moment I'm getting notifications that this company upgraded Nvidia. Oh, why is Nvidia getting upgraded nonstop prior to earnings? You don't even know what their numbers is, what their guidance is looking like. It didn't make no sense to me. It looks like manipulation to me. It looks like a trap, and maybe not. But people listening to this, y'all know what ended up happening. But it is very suspect that they were upgrading this so aggressively prior to earnings.
I actually agree with you. Yes, exactly. So my stance is that, once again, great company. I love them. And thank you for correcting it, bro. We still have 25% of our holdings in them. Like, we're still good. It's just concerning to me. We don't know their guidance. We don't know if they're having an amazing earnings. We don't know if they're coming out with new products or what their pricing looks like or anything of that sort. But we're upgrading to $560. Like, I'm not saying anything that it's incorrect or incorrect. I'm not the analyst here. But the only thing I have questions on is, can we at least see the earnings? Like, I don't remember the last time 2 days before earnings we saw over 10 upgrades to a stock. I don't remember the last time we saw that.
Yeah,
So
this.
that's what's kind of concerning about it. You know what I mean?
Yup, yup, absolutely, bro. And
But let's okay, go ahead. What are you about to say?
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's go into let's go talk about Block, man. I know you want to talk about it.
Had to show this, man. This is painful for us, extremely painful. We've been vocal about how, we caught the run up on Block, right? We caught it all the way to when it was at 280 or something. We caught it when it was up in here, but we still believed in it. And this thing is not looking too hot right now. And Newski, I don't know if you want to speak on this, but I don't. It's not looking too good. You guys see in the past 3 to 4 weeks, it's been just an aggressive sell-off on Square, on Block, an aggressive sell-off. They went from being at $81 to now being at $56 in just a few weeks, and who knows where it's going next. Personally, I believe that it's going to see below $51 very soon.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so I'll put all the jokes aside. I won't even troll right now. I'll just be straight up with y'all. I actually got out of my stock, my holdings. I took a loss on it. I'll be upfront. Like, I don't like when people on their channels lie, so I want to be upfront on our channel and just say the truth. Like, I actually did end up taking a loss on this. This is my biggest loss that I have till now, honestly. So Block let me down. The reason why I was in it was because I thought the company was great in terms of what they were producing. I started my journey investing with Block. So you could even say there was an emotional tie to it, which is why we teach you guys not to be emotional, which is why we teach you guys to actually evaluate companies in general. So all of that is stuff that I personally ended up taking an L on. I didn't follow on my own principles. So I took a major loss on this because right now, Zelle to me is better. I don't even use Cash App. People talk about Block in terms of crypto. You can buy crypto anywhere else. You don't have to buy it on Block. There's no crazy advantage on that. Another thing is, I'm so happy you pulled this up. No, you can pull it up. Bitcoin is coming down. Crypto is coming down right now, so we don't know where it stands even, right? So that's another thing. If it gets approved, Spot ETF gets approved, yeah, we might see a run up in Block, but I could invest my money elsewhere. And the last point being, bro, high rate market. PayPal's not doing too great. We have Fed now coming out. We might have CBDC, and we'll see how that impacts Block itself. And they have other competitors in the space that doesn't really make sense. So personally, I'm out. And if you invested in it and you lost money on it, we apologize. Like, obviously, you got to do your own research on that. But if we influence you in any way, because we're not a financial channel in that sense, you know what I mean? We can't provide advice. Like, apologies on that, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You're not going to get it all right. And it was initially a good investment. Like, you started buying it, I believe, when it was down at 40. I started buying it at 80.
I bought it at 30. I remember my first buy was 39, and I had an average cost. I was up 300% of this easily.
Exactly. So you can't really say it's a bad investment. It's just more that we should have taken profits a lot sooner. I know you took some off the table, but we probably should have took more profits, because I took a loss on this as well. I've been out of that position for a couple months now, but it hurt. But that's the name of the game. Want to make sure y'all taking y'all profits, man. Like, don't fall in love with the company. Make sure you look at the technicals and staying up on the news on it, because there was clear signs that this thing would come down like this, and we were just emotionally tied to it.
Yep, that's a good one. I want to show one more thing. I want to get away from stocks real quick. So let's talk about something else, right? So let's talk about what's going on outside the country that's influencing people a lot. Because remember, we're seeing a lot of recession news. We're seeing a lot of things going on. But this is something that I think is influencing a lot of the recession stuff. So obviously, we know China. We know they're a huge, huge market, the second largest economy in the world. Evergrande, for people who don't know, is a real estate company in China. It's the largest real estate company from my knowledge, but then I was doing some more research and it might be the second largest. So I guess in that sense, doesn't matter because it's still a top company, especially when it comes to real estate. Well, they just collapsed and they just actually filed for bankruptcy. So when you think about it, this is what's causing a lot of people to panic, because obviously, if you think that the second largest economy in the world with a huge real estate company collapsing is not going to impact the country itself, but then the other countries like America, for example, you might have to reevaluate things. Because obviously, I think that's going to have an impact. And is it going to be like the main cause for the recession? I don't know that part, but I think it does have an impact. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it'll have an impact as well as, we get a lot of our manufacturing from China and everything. So if they have an economic slowdown, it's gonna have a trickle effect. And like you said, second largest economy in the world, it's not gonna just be something we could just ignore. China's a major part of a lot of what we do. So I'm not really liking that as far as our stocks go, because it might have a trickle down effect into our markets. And we already see it even on the technicals. When you're looking at the chart, you can kind of see that we're starting to come down and we may have some more downside in the market. But ultimately, that's an opportunity, isn't it? Because we know things will eventually go back up. So we can definitely see this as an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing I just wanted to point out is you guys might be thinking like real estate in China, how does that impact us? Like, yeah, if economy goes down, sure, it might impact us a little bit. Just to make it clear, other companies that are not Chinese companies can invest in Evergrande, right? Like that's how it works. You can invest in the Chinese company itself. You can invest in Chinese real estate itself. So American companies that invested there, well, if that Evergrande is collapsing, it won't be able to repay the debt. It won't be able to repay the profit. It won't be able to repay the investors. And the gains that people were expecting from their investment, poof, it's gone. So that's how the impact essentially comes in. Hopefully that breakdown makes sense to you guys, but that's why it's a big deal. So there's a lot going on, and we just made a video on this and we talked about what we're doing with our money. So if you haven't checked that out, please make sure you check it out, because I think we provide a lot of good knowledge on that and you guys get an insight into our lives. But that's really what happened. We want to know what you guys think of this episode. We want to know what you guys think of Nvidia, because you guys have seen it before us. We haven't seen it yet. So definitely comment below what's going on. Like this video to show some love, and subscribe to the channel. Plus hit that little notification because we drop
2 videos a week.
And you don't want to miss them. Check us out on Monday. But until then, peace.
Peace.
Soundstripe.